Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1st, entitled Creation, Chapter 18, entitled Maharaj Parikshit cursed by a Brahmana boy, verse number 47. Apapeshu swabhartyeshu balena pakva buddhina papam kritam tad bhagavan sarvatma shantum arhati. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Then the Rishi prayed to the all-pervading personality of Godhead to pardon his immature boy who had no intelligence and who committed the great sin of cursing a person who was completely free from all sins, who was subordinate and who deserved to be protected. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Everyone is responsible for his own action, either pious or sinful. Rishi Shamik could foresee that his son had committed a great sin by cursing Maharaj Parikshit, who deserved to be protected by the Brahmanas, for he was a pious ruler and completely free from all sins because of his being a first-class devotee of the Lord. When an offense is done unto the devotee of the Lord, it is very difficult to overcome the reaction. The Brahmanas, being at the head of the social orders, are meant to give protection to their subordinates and not to curse them. There are occasions when a Brahmana may furiously curse a subordinate Kshatriya or Vaishya, etc. But in the case of Maharaj Parikshit, there were no grounds, as already explained. The foolish boy had done it out of sheer vanity in being a Brahmana's son, and thus he became liable to be punished by the law of God. The Lord never forgives a person who condemns his pure devotee. Therefore, by cursing a king, the foolish Shringi had committed not only a sin, but also the greatest offense. Therefore, the Rishi could foresee that only the Supreme Personality of Godhead could save his boy from his sinful act. He therefore directly prayed for pardon from the Supreme Lord, who alone can undo a thing which is impossible to change. The appeal was made in the name of a foolish boy who had developed no intelligence at all. A question may be raised herein that since it was the desire of the Lord that Parikshit Maharaj be put into that awkward position so that he might be delivered from material existence, then why was a Brahmana's son made responsible for this offensive act? The answer is that the offensive act was performed by a child only, so that he could be excused very easily, and thus the prayer of the father was accepted. But if the question is raised why the Brahmana community as a whole was made responsible for allowing Kali into the world affairs, the answer is given in the Varaha Puran, that the demons who acted inimically toward the personality of Godhead, but were not killed by the Lord, were allowed to take birth in the family of Brahmanas to take advantage of the age of Kali. The all-merciful Lord gave them a chance to have their births in the families of pious Brahmanas so that they could progress towards salvation. But the demons, instead of utilizing the good opportunity, misused the Brahmanical culture due to being puffed up by vanity in becoming Brahmanas. The typical example is the son of Shamik Rishi, and all the foolish sons of the Brahmanas are warned hereby not to become as foolish as Shringi and to be always on guard against the demonic qualities which they had in their previous birth. The foolish boy was of course excused by the Lord, but others who may not have a father like Shamik Rishi will be put into great difficulty if they misuse the advantages obtained by birth in a Brahmana family. Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, verse number 47, translation. Then the Rishi prayed to the all-pervading personality of Godhead to pardon his immature boy who had no intelligence and who committed the great sin of cursing a person who was completely free from all sins, who was subordinate and who deserved to be protected. Hare Krishna. So we have been reading that how Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by Shringi Rishi. Shringi Rishi is the small son, child of Shamik Rishi. Shamik Rishi is a pure devotee of Krishna. And Parikshit Maharaj is also a pure devotee of Krishna. And somehow the episode took place that a pure devotee, Parikshit Maharaj, came to the ashram of pure devotee Shamik Rishi to ask for water. And Shamik Rishi did not respond because he was in Samadhi. And when Shamik Rishi did not respond, Parikshit Maharaj felt disappointed that I am the king and I am asking for water and he is not giving me. So Parikshit Maharaj happened to see a dead snake and he put the cold body of dead snake on the shoulders of Shamik Rishi as a garland, that you gave me cold response, so I am giving you cold snake. And he left. When this news reached Shringi Rishi, who was just a small child, but so powerful, that he, out of anger and pride, cursed Parikshit Maharaj to die in 7 days. When Shamik Rishi came to know about this curse, he was highly disappointed and sad. He said, first of all, Parikshit Maharaj did not do any mistake. And even if he did mistake, this was a not suitable punishment. This is very high punishment for a small mistake. Punishing an innocent person is injustice. Over punishing a culprit is also injustice. So he is the king and he is a saintly person. He saw Krishna in the womb of his mother and he is feeding us. He should not be punished. So Shringi did wrong. Out of his immaturity, out of his anger, out of his vanity, Shringi punished, cursed Parikshit Maharaj. That was wrong. So Shamik Rishi was very sad. But Shamik Rishi is also affectionate towards his son. So on behalf of his son, Shamik Rishi prayed to Krishna to forgive Shringi Rishi. Because Shringi Rishi committed a sinful activity of cursing Parikshit Maharaj. Shringi Rishi committed Vaishnav Aparadh. See, there is a difference between sin and aparadh. Aparadh is also a sin, but is more than that. All aparadhs are sins, but all sins are not aparadhs. So if somebody goes on the road and slaps a person, that's sinful activity. When somebody goes and slaps a Vaishnava, that's aparadh, Vaishnava aparadh. The activity is same, slapping. But slapping a sadhu is higher sin. And it is called aparad. Sin, we can do prayaschit. And the matter is over. Aparad is not like that. If I do sinful activity, I can perform bhakti and clear it. I can chant Hare Krishna and clear it. But if I do aparad, I can't clear it by chanting Hare Krishna. I have to beg forgiveness from that Vaishnava. Aparad goes against Radharani. So sinful activity can be forgiven by Krishna. Aparad is not forgiven by Krishna. The example of Gopal Chapal in Navadip. Gopal Chapal, he was very envious of Srivas Pandit. Srivas Pandit was a very, Narad Muni himself was a very great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every day used to whole night dance in the house of Srivas Pandit with Nityanand and Advait and Haridas Thakur and Mukund Sanjay and Murari Gupta and Sridhar and Suklambar and Srivas and Ramai Pandit and Sridhar and so many others. So Srivas Pandit was famous as a pure Vaishnava. He was worshipable by the villagers. They used to respect and worship him. So Gopal Chapal, he got very envious of Srivas Pandit that he is receiving so much respect. So one day at night, Gopal Chapal took meat and liquor and all other paraphernalia which is used to worship Mother Kali in Tamogun and kept outside the door of Srivas Pandit's house. He wanted to show to the whole world, this fellow pretends to be a Vaishnava, but actually he is worshipper of Kali and he drinks and alcohol and eats meat and all this. So he kept all this paraphernalia, all these items at the door of Srivas Pandit. So morning when Srivas Pandit early morning woke up, opened his door and saw all the items. What did he do? What would we do? Before anybody sees, let's clean it up. Right? What did Srivas do? He called all his neighbors and showed the items and told him, look, today I am exposed. All this while I was pretending to be a Vaishnava, but I am such a sinful person that I consume meat and liquor. I worship Kali. I got exposed today. Srivas went to all the neighbors and showed them this, telling them that that means Gopal Chapal is right. So all the neighbors didn't believe Srivas. They said, we know somebody must have done the mischief. The neighbors cleaned it up. They didn't doubt Srivas' personality. See, he was so great and so humble. So genuinely consider himself fallen. Humility is very essential for practicing Krishna consciousness. So then Gopal Chapal, in a day or two, contracted leprosy. His skin started oozing pus and blood and painful all over the body. And leprosy is very contagious. So you need to be quarantined outside the village. So Gopal Chapal was staying outside the village in the forest. Very painful condition, suffering condition. His whole body will give very bad odor and nobody will come near him and he will not get anything to eat. So once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through that path and Gopal Chapal came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he said, you are God himself, Krishna, please forgive me for my offense. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so angry on Gopal Chapal, he said, I will never forgive you. You will rot in the hell for millions of years. Chaitanya didn't forgive Gopal Chapal. he was angry on him because he did Vaishnava aparadh. So sin is different from aparadh. A sin is ordinary, but aparadh is very dangerous. It can spoil my bhakti. So one should be very careful not to offend Vaishnavas, not to be violent with Vaishnavas, not to disrespect or insult Vaishnavas, not to criticize or be envious of Vaishnavas, not to speak against them at their back and to gossip, or not to hurt them or obstruct their spiritual growth. So here Shringi has offended Parikshit Maharaj. So Shamik Rishi is praying to Krishna, hoping that Krishna, who is all pervading, Vasudevam Sarvamiti, will understand the situation. And that is definitely true. Krishna understands everything. He knows past, present, future. He is all pervading. He knows what is happening in my life and what is going on in my heart. What are my thoughts? What are my emotions? What are my feelings? And not just me, each one of us and all the other living entities. He knows what is happening in the ant's life and bacteria's life and cockroach life. He knows everything and everybody. Billions and trillions and unlimited living entities. He knows what is going to happen tomorrow. He knows what shirt you are going to wear tomorrow. What time you are going to wake up tomorrow. You don't know, but he knows tomorrow. He knows when you are going to die. He knows what you are going to do exactly at the same moment 10 years later. All cognizant. He has all the knowledge, all the information. All pervading. Vasudevam Sarvamiti. He is present everywhere. So he is present in the ashram of Shamik Rishi, he is present in the river where Shringi Rishi cursed, he is present in the heart. So Shamik Rishi is offering prayers to Krishna that my son is immature. He has no intelligence. He is just proud. And he performed such a grave sin against the Parikshit Maharaj, who is sinless, who has not no mistake, who is a saintly personality, who is a pure devotee, pure Vaishnava. But because he is immature, unintelligent child, please forgive him. See, a child committing mistake and an adult committing mistake, there's a difference. It's not same. So he's a child. He is not mature. Not mature means one doesn't know the consequence of one's actions, or one doesn't know how to respond. A mature person will respond in mode of goodness. He'll think and respond. He knows the consequence of his actions. But here he doesn't know. And he doesn't know that by the death of Parikshit Maharaj, the world will suffer. He didn't curse Parikshit Maharaj. He cursed the whole world. How? Because Kali Yuga wanted to enter in the consciousness of all the citizens. And the only reason Kali Yuga couldn't enter is Parikshit Maharaj. He stopped Kali. So the world was a better place. Parikshit Maharaj was such a big obstruction that Kali couldn't spread its activities. So after the cursing, when Parikshit Maharaj dies, Kali will have no obstruction. And all the people will get corrupt. And all the people will get sinful. So Kali wanted Parikshit Maharaj to go away from his path. And Kali spoiled Shringi Rishi and used Shringi Rishi to curse Parikshit Maharaj and kill him. So Kali entered the consciousness of Shringi Rishi at the time he was very angry and proud. See, Parikshit Maharaj was such a great king that even 7-year-old boys were powerful enough to curse the king. That shows Parikshit Maharaj's kingdom was so powerful, and Parikshit Maharaj's ruling was so powerful that even 7-year-old Rishi Putras were powerful to curse, and that too to a king. So Kali, he used Shringi Rishi. He corrupted Shringi Rishi, the Brahmana, and tried to take Parikshit Maharaj away from his path. So this is a very big consequence for the whole world, that Kali Yuga penetrated in the society by the death of Parikshit Maharaj due to the corruption of Brahmanas by Shringi Rishi. It's a very big, simple activity because he's immature, he doesn't understand this. So Shamik Rishi is praying, my dear Lord, please forgive this immature, unintelligent boy. Because Shamik Rishi is affectionate towards his son. If we don't beg forgiveness, then we receive reaction. Everybody is responsible for his own actions, good or bad. If I do good action, I'll get reward. If I do bad action, I'll get punishment. And that will continue my entanglement in the material world. So good is also bad. Bad is anyway bad because I'll get punishment. Good is also bad because good will give me reward, but for that reward I'll have to take next life. So my cycle of birth and death will continue. So we should do bhakti, not good and bad karma. Beyond karma is bhakti. Bhakti means pleasing Krishna. Karma means a fruitive activity for my benefit. If I want something back, that's karma. Even if I am going to temple and performing devotional activity. But that's bhakti if I want pleasure of Krishna. But if I want some profit, then it's not bhakti. See, I take some vegetables or fruits or some commercial product and go to temple and do business with devotees, sell to devotees or deity. Then I'm not doing bhakti, I'm doing karma. But if I go and give it free as a donation, that's bhakti. If I don't want anything in return. Karma, fruitive activity. So we do any karma, we are responsible for it. So the cycle of birth and death continues. But if we beg forgiveness and clear it up, then we can get liberated. So Shamik Rishi, being affectionate to Shringi Rishi, who is a small child, is praying to Krishna to forgive him. That he is child, he is immature, he has no intelligence, he doesn't know the consequences, he is proud. Please forgive. This was all arranged by Krishna so that Bhagavatam is given to us, so that the world knows the greatness of Parikshit Maharaj. So even if something is arranged by Krishna, but when we use our free will or misuse our free will to perform an action which results in Krishna's mission, still we are responsible for that action. So because Shringi was corrupted by Kali and he cursed Parikshit Maharaj, that was an offense. At the same time, Krishna wanted Parikshit Maharaj to be an instrument to give us Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So Shringi as an instrument was used, and he is a child, so he can be easily forgiven. Even in our life, if we see mistake committed by a child or a senior citizen or a cow or a woman or a brahmana or a handicap or a disease or invalid person or a weak person, we should forgive. We should not take it very seriously. A child committing mistake is not to be punished. A woman committing mistake is not to be punished. A brahmana, a senior citizen, a cow committing mistake is not to be punished. They are to be protected. So Shamik Rishi He is praying that Parikshit Maharaj is to be protected by the Brahmanas. See, Kshatriya protects Brahmanas by his strength, and Brahmanas protect Kshatriyas by their advice and blessings. So Kshatriyas are subordinate to Brahmanas. And being subordinate, they have to be protected by good knowledge and good advice so that they don't misuse that power. So Parikshit Maharaj is sinless and he is to be protected. He is subordinate. But instead of protecting him, Shringi Rishi wants to kill him. So he is praying. And because Shringi Rishi is a small child, the act can be forgiven. Because of Shamik Rishi's prayer. But this also generated a society where all Brahmanas became corrupt after this. And this is because they were cursed. In Varaha Puran it's mentioned that those demons whom Krishna did not kill in Dwapar Yuga, they took birth in Brahmanas' families in Kali Yuga. Getting an opportunity to purify themselves, lead a pious life, give up the demonic tendencies and get liberated. But these Brahmanas, they misused their power and they allowed their demonic qualities to be expressed and they became further corrupt. And in that way, the Brahmana who are head of the society, if the head is corrupt, what do you expect from the other parts? The Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. So the whole society collapsed. That's why there's no proper Varnashram today. And that's why the generation which is coming, the population which is coming is all sinful and criminal. The four sinful activities, no meat eating, meat eating, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex is prevalent everywhere. If today a boy says, I don't eat meat and I don't smoke cigarette and I don't have girlfriends and I don't indulge in these activities, he'll be considered abnormal. Today when young boys visit ISKCON temples and spend time there, their parents are worried, he'll join and become a brahmachari. But the same boy whole night goes out with his friends to beer bar and cinema and girlfriends, they are not worried. They say, oh, that's normal. What kind of society is this? That if if your child is walking on spiritual path, you are concerned and worried. And if he's walking towards hell, you are not concerned and worried. That's the consciousness. So this corruption happened because they had demonic qualities and they didn't purify themselves. And also in Daksh Prajapati's life, there's a pastime when Daksh Prajapati cursed Lord Shiva. And being angry, Lord Shiva's associates cursed the associates of Daksh Prajapati, the Brahmanas, headed by Bhrigu Muni. And because Lord Shiva's associate cursed the Brahmanas, because of that curse, the Brahmanas in Kali Yuga, they have got deviated. So it's very rare to find a pure Brahmana and a pure devotee of Krishna. A Brahmana is not by birth, a Brahmana is by guna and karma, by qualities and occupation. I'm a Brahmana not because my father is a Brahmana, but I can be a Brahmana only if I have qualities of a Brahmana. The qualities of humility, honesty, tolerance, self-control, forgiveness, compassion, intelligence, wisdom, cleanliness, peacefulness, austere, truthfulness, etc. Nowadays, people don't even know the list of the qualities, forget having them. So how will they be able to lead the society? So those who are born in human society, in good families, they should know Krishna has given them an opportunity to purify themselves and go back home, back to God. That is Krishna's mercy. We have got human form. And we have got human form in good family. This is another opportunity. And we have got human form in human form association of ISKCON devotees. This is a very great opportunity. So we should use this very nicely by being very serious in our sadhana every day, doing Mangal Aarti, Singh Aarti, Tulsi Aarti, chanting minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Guru Puja, Shingarati, reading Bhagavatam class, reading Bhagavatam, doing devotional service, following 4 principles. So to become a very serious devotee, a very serious sadhaka. So we go back to God. But when we misuse our opportunities, then again we become animal, we become a dog or a cat next life, or a fish or a bird or a tree or a plant, or an insect or a snake, when that's not good. So the merciful Lord gives opportunity so that we get purified. Every day when the sun rises in the morning, Krishna gives one more new day. He said, yesterday whether you did bhakti or not, today you do. That is his mercy. Every day he gives an opportunity. Second chance, third chance, fourth chance, 100 chance, 2000 chance, 1 lakh chance. Millions of chances is giving us birth after birth. So we should use this opportunity. Serve Krishna. Shringi Rishi did a mistake out of the influence of Kali, and he had a pure devotee father who prayed for him and protected him. We do a mistake, we will be suffering because we may not have somebody praying for us on that level. So we are responsible for our activities. So we should be very careful following the 4 regulative principles and Vaishnava etiquette. Should not do Vaishnava offense. Should not do sinful activities. Should not break the 4 regulative principles. Under the guidance of a pure sadhu, we should perform our activities so that the result is given to Krishna, so that the activity is pleasing to Krishna. And that way our life is successful. This human form of life is very nice. Just by little, very tiny effort, after a few years, you can see Krishna face to face. How many years more I will live? 30, 40, 50, 20, 100. How many more I will live? Average, how much is the 30, 40? Just 30, 40 years, if I do everyday Mangal Aarti and 16 rounds and Guru Puja and attend Bhagavatam class and follow 4 regulative principles, after 30 years, I'd see Shyam Sundar face to face in Golok Vrindavan, eating laddu and kachori with him. Just few more years. Very little effort we have to do. But if you become lazy and miss this opportunity, then again 9 months the womb of the mother. And again birth, death, old age, disease. And again A, B, C, D, and 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4. And again Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. And again this whole chakkar will start. Oh my God. Useless waste of labor. Shrama eva hi kevalam. So a devotee should be very, very careful to use this opportunity responsibly and serve Krishna. In Satyuga, there are 2 types, Suras and Asuras, demons and devotees, demons and demigods. So in Satyuga, demons and devotees both used to stay in separate planets and both will be peaceful. But in Treta Yuga, they started staying in the same planet but different continents like Ravan and Ram. So when they met, there was a war. In Dwapar Yuga, they started staying in the same family like Duryodhana and Yudhishthira. They had often fights, a big war. But in Kali Yuga, demon and devotee both stay in the same body. So we have both qualities. So if I associate with demonic people, my demonic qualities will come out. If I associate with devotees, my devotee quality will come out. So we should always be in good sadhu sangha. If I associate with drunkard, I'll start drinking. But I associate with devotees, I'll start chanting. So Kali Yuga, we have to be very careful not to allow the demonic qualities to come out. they get purified by chanting the holy name and associating with devotees. The more and more time we should spend with Krishna and his devotees. Whole day busy with Krishna. Somehow or other we should engage in Krishna service, either by chanting or by reading or by hearing or by preaching or by deity worship, honoring prasadam, book distribution, or so many various services are there. In that way I protect myself. So we have this opportunity and we should use it nicely. And in that way we'll go back to God in this life. Okay, we'll end here. Thank you very much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments or questions, please ask.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. So I would request the devotees to unmute their mic and ask any question if they have, or can type in the comment box. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Yes, one of them.
प्रभुजी विंटर्स में साधना बिल्कुल बिगड़ गई है. अर्ली मॉर्निंग उठने में प्रॉब्लम होता है, तो कैसे किया जाए?
क्या वापस बोलिए?
विंटर्स में मतलब ठंड में तो सुबह उठने में प्रॉब्लम होती है. ऑल्दो मेरा शिफ्ट पे काम है, बट स्टिल यूजुअली आई वुड वेक अप एट लाइक 5 or 6 or maximum 7, but now mostly I am waking up at 7, so it's becoming very late.
Okay, so no problem. Next life you do nice bhakti. Okay. No, next life also you will not do. Third life you do. So we should know that's not an option. This life we have to go back to God. No more birth. So we have to do that austerity to wake up. We should know it's very important. It's like somebody telling you wake up by 4 o'clock, I'll give you 1 million rupees. You'll not sleep only. So this is very valuable. Holy name is more than 1 million rupees. It's Goloka Premadana, it's a currency of the spiritual world. So if you have appointment tomorrow, if every day you have appointment at 4 a.m. with the VIP, will you not wake up? So we have appointment in the morning, Mangalarti, with the deities. So we should wake up. Initially it will be a struggle, but if you do it daily, eventually it will be a habit. But since many years, because we have not done it, so we are still struggling. When I joined temple, it was a very big struggle for me to wake up early morning. Now without alarm clock, I can wake up because the body is used to. The thought doesn't come. Becomes habit. So what we do every day becomes an habit. So if you do every day, it will become a habit. So we should be very serious. And I'll give you a first class tip which will help your body to wake up in the morning, early morning. First class tip, $1 million tip. I'm giving you free. Should I? The only way to wake up every day consistently, early morning, is to sleep early. There is no other way. So sleep early, you'll wake up early. If instead of 4, you're waking up at 7, that means your body requires extra sleep. So you're sleeping at 10, 11, you sleep at 8, 9. And if you sleep early, you'll wake up early. Right? So we should make a habit to have our dinner prasadam early, maybe before sunset, 6, 7 o'clock, or 5 o'clock, and sleep by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Then we wake up early and they see you whole day very nice. So we should know the most important part of our life is morning program. So even if there is some struggle, we should do that struggle. and wake up. And that was nice. Okay.
Ji Prabhuji, thank you so much for wonderful answer.
Krishna wakes up early morning, so master wakes up and servant is sleeping. We also. Okay, next.
प्रभु जी, I have also a question. Like यहाँ पे जैसे बताया गया कि small designations में हम लोग कितने affected हो जाते हैं कि थोड़ा pride आ जाता है, and we जैसे श्रृंगी ऋषि को यहाँ पे हुआ है, he cursed. So we maybe not cursing, but we say ill or something, जैसे हम लोग continuously react कर देते हैं. तो इस tendency को, मतलब छोटा छोटा जो material designation है या even in spiritual world में हम आते हैं या थोड़ा थोड़ा जो progress करते हैं, उसमें भी थोड़ा थोड़ा हम लोग को, मुझे लगता है कि puffed up हो जाते हैं हम लोग कि देखो मैंने ऐसा किया ये. तो इस चीज को, मतलब प्राइड को कैसे अवॉइड किया जाए, या व्हाट, आप अगर इस पे कुछ बताएं, हम लोगों को गाइड करें. हरे कृष्णा.
Yeah, so it's a topic of a whole lecture about pride. When Lord Brahma was told to create the world, Krishna was very pleased with Brahma due to his austerities. So Krishna shook his hand with Brahma as a friend and told him to create the world. And Brahma said, no, I can't create the world. If I create, I'll become proud because you just shake hand as if I'm equal to you. So first you tell me how I will not become proud, then I will create the world. And Krishna told 4 verses. These are called Shloki Bhagavatam. That's the original Bhagavatam Krishna gave to Brahma. Only 4 verses to solve the original problem of pride. Now Bhagavatam has been expanded into 18,000 verses to solve the original problem of pride. So pride means we give ourselves value more than we are, or more than others around us. And that will lead to fall down and offenses. So all credit goes to Krishna. Even if I do some service, the success is because of Krishna. You should know that. And I am a very humble servant, insignificant servant of Krishna. We should realize that. Every day we should hear this, that I am servant of Krishna. And very humbly serve devotees. So the more time we spend with senior devotees, the more we'll be humble. The more time we spend away from senior devotees or with junior devotees, the more we'll be proud. So we should spend more time with seniors and serve them. And that we will remain humble. And by chanting and hearing every day, we reduce our anarthas. So there's something more to be said about pride, but it will be a little more longer. So maybe we will take some class like that on someday.
Okay.
Or okay. Rajat?
Yes, thank you so much. अगर किसी और भक्त को कोई क्वेश्चन है तो पूछ सकते हैं. हम लोग 10 सेकंड्स देंगे, नहीं तो क्लास सेंड करेंगे.
प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम. प्रभु जी मेरा प्रश्न ये है, कल मैं ड्राइव कर रही थी, जैसे ऑफ मेडिसिन लेने जाना था, तो एक रेड लाइट में तो अपंग मिला, उसको मैंने दिया, लेकिन दूसरी रेड लाइट में वो माँ काली जो हमारी कुलदेवी हैं, वैसे उनको उनकी शक्ल बना, वेशभूषा बना के मांग रहा था. तो मेरे दिमाग में ये प्रश्न आया कि ये तो हमारी देवी को मांगने वाली बना के मांग रहे हैं, तो मैंने उसको नहीं दिया. क्या ये विचार सही था या गलत था?
क्या दिया?
कुछ नहीं दिया उसको.
नहीं, क्या बांट रहे हैं आप? मुझे मालूम नहीं. मेडिसिन बांट रहे हैं?
नहीं मेडिसिन नहीं बांट रहे, वो जैसे रेड लाइट में बैगिंग वाले होते हैं जो. तो
क्या दिया?
कुछ नहीं दिया उसको मैंने. फिर
अरे आप पहले वाले को क्या दिया?
ऐसे ही पैसे दे दिए थोड़े से.
हाँ, तो अगर आप देना चाहते हैं तो दे दीजिए, क्योंकि भगवान के नाम पे मांगते हैं लोग, माता के नाम पे मांगते हैं लोग.
वो देवी का बिल्कुल वेशभूषा देवी वाली बना रखी है.
आखिर भूखा तो है ना, वो मांग इसलिए रहा है कि भूखा है, और वेशभूषा बनाया इसलिए क्योंकि इसके बहाने लोग देंगे. तो एक आर्टिस्ट है, वो आर्टिस्ट है जो अपना आर्ट प्रेजेंट कर रहा है, तो आप उसको मदद कर सकते हैं, दे सकते हैं. तो भगवान काली का वेश बना इसलिए मत देना, वो विचार ठीक नहीं है. अगर हमारे पास सक्षमता है और कोई भूखा है हमारे सामने तो देना चाहिए। देखिए जो भीख मांग रहा है वो तो सिर्फ भीख मांग रहा है, ये तो एक आर्ट है। आर्टिस्ट अपने आप को पोशाक पहन के या कॉस्ट्यूम पहन के और डेकोरेशन करके एक आर्टिस्ट की तरह प्रेजेंट कर रहा है अपने सामने, आपको काली माँ का याद दिला रहा है। हम तो ऑफकोर्स वैष्णव हैं, लेकिन वो कोशिश कर रहा है ना लोगों को काली माँ का याद दिला रहा है। तो भगवान के नाम पे तो मांगते ही हैं लोग, देना चाहिए, गलत नहीं है। प्रसाद दिया तो ज्यादा अच्छा है।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
ओके ओके, विल एंड हियर। थैंक यू
Yes.
मच। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
So we will offer the Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuve evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कुंज बिहारी भगवान की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा हरे